Good morning, everybody. So, in spite my plans I had yesterday, we're doing New York session today. I have to babysit, or better, keep an ear on the little one here. Babysitter called in sick, so the wife doesn't come home until 8:30ish, 9. So I just gotta keep an ear out for her. She's still sleeping. So here we are at the New York session instead of London. Let me just put something in my Telegram channel. Okie dokie. Just a few things that I noticed on this broker. The S&P 500 spread is really high, if you can see this here. So I decided to go with US 30. It's a little bit better. Not the best spreads, but like I said, this is just a demo account to get to know this strategy better and try it out. Also, what I noticed is in a London session, let me get rid of the lines. By the way, you have to be subscribed in order to participate in the chat, just FYI. So in the London session we had actually 2 trades. So we rated the Asian session high here, had an entry here, took it down to the opposite liquidity, and then we got an entry again right here, going up again. So that was nice. And yeah, what I wanted to touch on is I decided to use the TMA bands in a different way. So the touch of the TMA band, obviously here in this case, did not happen. So I'm gonna use them as a dynamic premium and discount area, if that makes sense. So we have the middle line here. So whenever price is underneath that middle line, I'm gonna consider that discount. So we're looking for buys. And whenever price is above the middle line, I'm considered this premium, and we're looking for sells. So this way we would have been able to take both of these trades. As you can see, there was a lot of volatility on Friday, and you can see the band is slowly catching up with the normality of the volatility. So we wouldn't have gotten a touch here either way, but we would have had 2 winning trades. So we're gonna treat this as premium, and this is discount zone, as dynamic. And like I said, I know that's not ICT's teaching exactly, but that's how I'm gonna look at it and what makes sense to me. So that's a little change here. And like I said, yeah, we're gonna start off with US 30. I have really good spreads on Euro USD actually here. So actually, you know what, let me put both of them up, and we're just gonna keep an eye on both because I have almost 0 spread on Euro USD. So we're gonna open up a second one with US 30. There we go. And this needs to be under 1 minute. Can make this small. Make this a little smaller as well. Actually, way smaller. There you go. Perfect. Okay, and now we're waiting basically. So again, in order to take a trade, we need to either rate this low here, because we did touch the band here, so, and we haven't touched it on the upper side. Not saying that that's a given, it's not always given obviously here, but technically we're still trying to reach out to this upper band. So if we get a rate of this liquidity, that would be enough for me. If we rate this liquidity, that would be fine with me as well, because that should be past the band. Or this liquidity. We just see how it goes. So rate of either liquidities, not this one, but this one, this one, this one, or this one would be valid for me to look for an entry. And on US 30, yeah, we're kind of like in limbo with the TMA band, so we'll just wait for a liquidity rate either on the bottom here of London session, or I would say up here. I wouldn't just consider a rate because they're very close together, so if anything I want to see this high being taken out. Here, like I said, we have the confluence of the band with that high, so if you rate this high, I would be considering this a valid rate to go lower, as well as the London high and the London low, and also this low. So we're just gonna sit here and wait until one of those things happen. Hey guy, race car videos, nice. Welcome, welcome. I think you're the first, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yes, sir. Well, welcome to the live session here. We're trading New York session, Euro USD, and US 30. In case you weren't here before, the original plan that we decided on yesterday is S&P 500, but I noticed that the spreads are really high on S&P 500, as you can see here. This is a pretty big spread, so this is not ideal for scalping on the 1 minute. So I decided to go with US 30, which is also an index. The spread is a little better, not ideal, but better. And also I added Euro USD, since that has the best spread on this broker, as usual on most brokers. It's always between 0 and 0.1. So we're just gonna keep an eye on both. Oh, hi Rowan, welcome. Yeah, I'm back on YouTube. I had my first live session yesterday. I was in Europe for 4.5 months. Took a break from everything, visit family and friends over there, and I just came back the end of August. And I had to take care of a few things. If you're out of the country for many months, you gotta catch up with a few things, which I did, and now I'm back streaming and on YouTube. How are you doing? Good to see you. It's been a while. Oh, just FYI, what we're doing here is we're using one of ICT's concepts, which is the Judo swing and also silver bullet. At least parts of it. I'm not completely adapting it, but I'm taking principles from ICT and I'm combining it with my own TMA strategy. And that seems to be working pretty well. This is my first day of trading it, actually. I just put it together the last couple of weeks, and I did some back testing on it and it looked okay. So this is my first week trading it on a demo account, so it's not a real account yet. I want to test it out first, and then if it works after a week or two and I'm comfortable with it, then I will trade it on a live account. just to catch you up real quick. That's where I'm at. Yeah, I lost my funded account right before I left to Germany. The market was just going wild. I was using an EA, and it got in too much drawdown. And another reason why I took a break from everything, trying to think about everything and reinvent myself while I was over there and taking a break. And plan going forward now is, like I said, I'm going to try this strategy because I think it's a very good strategy. It's very successful from what I've seen. And from back testing, I saw that it really works. So I'm going to give this a shot, and if it works well for the next, let's say, 2 weeks, I'm going to start with a $100 live account and then try to trade it up to 200, take $40 out of it, sign up with the 5%ers for their 5,000 high stakes challenge. And then as I make profits in the real account, I'm going to use those profits to basically buy more challenges one by one. And also whatever I make in profits and payouts with the prop firms that I'm going to sign up with, I'm going to put half of that money into new challenges and half of the money in my original $100 account to build that one up at the same time. And then, live trade it every day and see where it goes. So that's the plan. Seven accounts, okay. So you're diversifying your risk basically. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm actually working on an EA myself, with the help of Thiago. But he's very busy, so we had a first working version, and it actually allowed me to pass the prop firm challenge, but only because I had way more time over the holidays. They gave you 6 weeks, and I was in 5% profit after the 6 weeks, so I got an extension, and that allowed me to pass. Unfortunately, a month and a half later I lost that account because drawdown was too high, which wouldn't have made a difference because it was my Forex funds, and we all know what happened with my Forex funds, so that would be gone by now anyway. So while I was in Germany, I came up with some changes with to the logic of the EA, how to improve profitability and drawdown. And Thiago is actually working on it right now, but I don't want to push it because he's a busy man, and he doesn't let me pay him. He refuses to be paid. So I just told him, take your time, no rush. In the meantime, I'm gonna try the strategy. So let's see when that EA is done. It should be pretty good. And just FYI for everybody that is listening or watching this later, I will not give out that EA. The reason is when I had my funded several accounts actually, I lost them all because he was using an EA that apparently someone else was using at the same time with the same prop firm. So my accounts were flagged for trade copying, which was in the rules that this is not allowed, even though I was not copying anything from anyone. But apparently somebody used the same EA, so we had the same entries, same relative trade size and everything. So they banned all my accounts, or canceled all my accounts. Because of that, I was like, alright, I'm going to come up with my own EA, which I did. And Thiago helped me with that. And I said, this one I'm not going to give out to anyone. I'm not going to sell it. Because then I'm risking, again, if someone uses it for prop firm challenges and happens to sign up with the same prop firm that I am with, to be flagged again for copying trades. And most of those prop firms actually have that rule. You're not allowed to copy trades from other people, which that would be what I will be flagged with, even though I'm not copying anything, but you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that EA will not go out anywhere to anyone, period. And I know that sounds a little selfish, but I have to be, because it doesn't make sense if I put all this work into the EA and then finally get it to a point where it's profitable and makes money, and then someone else is using it for the same prop firm and lose the funded accounts again. So I'm not going to do that. So anywho, in the meantime, I'm trading this live. Live is better anyway, because you can make a lot more money compared to an EA. EA you have to set on lower lot sizes, because sometimes the drawdown can be too high or whatever. If you know, especially if you use some recovery trades or stuff like that, and the profit is just not, I mean, there is profit, it's just not as high as when you trade manually with a one trade stop loss situation. You can make a lot more. Now this is a demo account, $500. I'm gonna risk 1% on each trade, and I explained it yesterday in the Q&A on Sunday, which I'm gonna do every week, by the way. That this strategy, I'm gonna take 2 half trades, meaning 2 trades at the same time with 0.5% risk each. The first one will be closed at 1, 2, 3 risk reward, regardless where we are or where our target is, and then we set the stop loss to break even for the second half and let it run. And either we hit TP or we hit break even with the second half. And if you get stopped out at break even and there's another entry that presents itself right after, then I will take that and rinse and repeat, basically, until we do hit the target. I actually recorded live session yesterday, Q&A, so if you want to watch that, it's on my channel. Go into details about the strategy and everything. The only thing I changed today is that I'm going to use the Team A band, because it is repainting a lot. I'm going to use it as a dynamic premium discount area. So whenever price is in the upper half, I consider that premium, so we're looking for sells. It doesn't have to touch. And whenever price is in the lower half, we're looking for buys. So no touch of the band required. It just has to be in the right area. Ideal is if when it's outside of the band. Those are usually the really good trades. But again, when we get a signal, we get a signal. So, and again, for this strategy, we're waiting for a liquidity rate, and then an entry, and then we're gonna take it to either the other side of the session or the Team A band, or if we get, you know, like here, when we go up and we get a reverse signal here, well, then we get out, you know, if it doesn't want to go any further. So let's see how that goes today. We have liquidity here, the US 30. We do have liquidity here, and of course down here. And on the Euro USD, we have liquidity here, and this is liquidity, but I'm not considering that. I will consider this a valid rate because that it's right where the band sits, and also, of course, the high of the London session. If that will be rated, then I will consider a sell there. So. Yeah, I'm gonna take the time. I hear you on the manual trading, but I really want to build this up and quickly. So I decided to dedicate at least the London session, which didn't work out today. That's why I'm here in New York session. Time-wise, for me, the London session is ideal because I'm a night owl anyway. However, one day a week I'm actually working outside of the house, so that's on Tuesday night. So Tuesday night I come home just in time for the London session, and so even on the day where I work I can do the London session. So I'm gonna do that every day, and on days where I get enough sleep and rest before the London session, I'm just gonna do both sessions, meaning London and New York. Today is an exception because my friend that I live with at the moment asked me to watch their granddaughter because the babysitter called in sick. So he came in last night and he was like, "Hey, can you watch her tomorrow for a couple of hours until my wife gets home?" And I'm like, sure. Can't really say no. They're good people. They took me in, so they're like family to me. And so I decided to switch it around and do New York session instead. But usually I would do London session every day. You know, if I look at it that way. First of all, I can do the London session easily with my work schedule. You know, I only work one night outside of the house, and I come home, I think, like in half hour to an hour before London session. So I can just add that 3 hours to that time frame and then go to sleep. And the other days I work at home and I can basically make my own schedule. So I'm gonna work my schedule around the London session basically. And if I have enough sleep and I'm rested enough before London session, then I do possibly the New York session as well, which is 8 to 11 for me. So now this strategy again is based on loosely based, and I have to add that, very loosely based on ICT concepts. I'm just using my own entry model, but also his entry model if it presents itself and I miss my entry with my model. So again, I made a video about it going into detail yesterday. If you want to watch that, it's on my channel. And this is my first day actually trading it. It's completely new to me too. Like I said, I just did some back testing on it, and it looks very promising. The first day we went over yesterday in the live session, when I explained the strategy, we had the SPX 500 up, S&P 500. Didn't know that the spread was that high, but we had that as a example to go over it, and it made 17.5% in one day. So in London and New York combined, it would have produced 17.5% with 1% risk on each trade. That's crazy. So you could have passed 2 challenges at 8% in one day. So I'm willing to give that a try and see if that works. And the template is also available in my template and indicators is also available in my Telegram channel. So if someone wants to trade with me, they're welcome to. So we're still waiting. Looks like we're getting a raid on Euro USD soon. That's good. Ideally, I want to see the London session being taken out. But if we rate the where is it? If we rate this liquidity and then we get a reversal entry signal, then of course I will take it and hopefully take it up to the TMA band. So I'll be right back. I just have to get myself some paper towel. I'll be right back. Hold on a second. Gonna mute the mic so I don't scare you guys off with the noise. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for that. Got some more coffee too. Coffee is always a good idea. Okay, so what are we looking at here? So this is getting close to a liquidity rate here. The reason why I would consider this is because we did touch the band here, which was also the low of the London session. And again, my theory is that price travels between those two bands back and forth. So the next logical target would be the upper band. However, I need some liquidity being rated before I take an entry. So since this is basically halfway in the move up there, I would consider this liquidity to be valid. So let's see if we get this here. Blue and white line. Okay, those are fractals, fractal resistances. Fractals S and R. The white ones are 15 minutes and the blue ones are 1 hour. So obviously they're a little bit stronger. They do heavily repaint. However, that's a given for me to take a trade. So in order for me to take a trade, I have to have this as a confirmation. But that's not the giving factor, so they repaint like crazy. But if, for example, let me zoom out here a little bit. So you can see we went underneath the Asian low here. That would have been for me a reason to look for a long. However, now we need to get into the discounted zone, my dynamic discount zone, which is underneath the middle line of the TMA band. So at this point, I want to see price, of course, go as much into discount as possible. But at this point, I would start watching this indicator here on the bottom, and I wait until I see the first white bar on this indicator. Let me go in a little bit. And this repaints, so not sure. We might have gotten the first white bar around this area here. So this paints back. But as an additional confirmation, I get a touch of the band, which is always nice to see. And then I wait for this to turn white, which probably happen around here. And at this point we also have a green arrow down here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. And we have our 1 hour support, which is nice to see. So we had our green arrow. The last yellow arrow was pointing down. So even though we have a green arrow, we need to wait for a yellow arrow going up, which happens on this candle here. At this time, the first indicator here is green as well. And then if we look down, those were guaranteed at least white at this point. So that would be a valid entry. So in the London session, this would have been an entry. And then show lines. So yeah, right here would have been your entry. Stop loss right underneath the low, which happens to be the candle. And then we're shooting for 1, 2, 3 for the first target, which happens here. And that's where we close out the first half of our 2 positions, or the first of our 2 positions, and also set our stop loss to break even at this point. So we made 1.5% on that move. And then the second move, well, we're following this indicator again. So we go up here. Ideally we want to see it coming to the band, but in this case we see white here, so that's again a sign of weakness. Probably came in here, this started to turn 2, we get a red arrow, we get a yellow arrow, so we close the trade. And since we're in premium, we could take this down again. So this is a very slow day. Usually it definitely bounces out of the bands at least, but that's basically it in a nutshell. So it's a very simple. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, the little one woke up. She's running around looking for a tablet. It's fine. Keeps her busy. I'm a good babysitter, right? Nah, she's not awake yet, so you can't talk to her. She gets very moody. Good morning, Everly. Gonna hang out with me until Mimi comes home. Danielle can come today, but you're welcome to use your tablet if you want, or I can turn the TV on for you if you want. And if you need anything, let me know, okay? Yeah, she's not even talking yet. She reminds me of myself when I wake up. Yeah, and again, coming back to the fractals, I need to have that present for a trade. So if I get an entry, I definitely want to see them as a confirmation. I'm not going by them. Like I said, they repaint like crazy. So let's say, for example, on this one, we probably got the first blue dot here. So you can't just go by that and take the trade. That's why we have these additional indicators as a confirmation or filter. But when I do finally get a valid signal, I want to see them present, if that makes sense. And that's usually where the stop loss goes. If we have an entry of the candle that bounces off of that support, but in this case we don't get it. Let me zoom in again. So like here, if you get an entry right off the support, then my stop loss would definitely be below. However, we have a move up and then down before we get a valid entry. So in this case, I would put my stop loss either here or here, depending on how risky you want to keep it. But usually when you get a valid entry, it really doesn't come back all the way. So you could easily put your entry underneath the low, and then off we go. But again, I need to see that support at least before I consider taking an entry. So if I don't see any support, I'm not taking any entry. That's what they're there for. But you can't use them as entry criteria on its own because, like I said, they're repainted like crazy. Our main entry signal basically is yellow and green arrow for a buy and yellow and red arrow for a sell. And then of course the bottom indicator have to agree. I also have a water tar here for volume. It's not required for that strategy, but I have it on there just to see what the volume does, if it agrees or not. Especially in cases where I have a really tight entry, I want to see definitely some volume going in my favor before I would consider that entry. If not, then I would wait on a candle or so. That's fine. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's really simple. All the indicators are in my Telegram chat. The template is in there. The updated template is separate. I'm gonna put that together today again and update the zip file in there. But in the zip file you have the indicators. The template in the zip file is not the right one, so I post that later, but it's in there. I posted that yesterday. You can find it there. All free, not asking for anything. And like I said, I'm gonna live trade it and then learn as I go with you guys. I haven't traded that yet either, so this is new to me as well. So we didn't really have a rate yet, but it's also only 8:30, so the market really wakes up at 9:30. Especially on the indices. However, kill zone hour for Forex is 8:30. So let me just hide those lines again. There's enough stuff on the chart as it is. Okay, so basically we're waiting for yes sir. This is called a position size calculator. It's a free tool and it's set to 0.5% risk. You can see this here, 0.5%, 0.5, and it allows me to enter. I can either instant enter and just put my stop loss where I want it to be, which is this line here, and would automatically calculate the lot size for me. Or if I want a pending order, I switch here, and now I can move the entry line and the stop loss to where I want it. Let's say I want to set it here and then take profit 1, 2, 3 risk reward. It calculates that, and I can just place the order like that. It's a free tool. It's available. If you Google position size calculator, there's actually a new version out that is on EA now, which makes it a lot easier, I think. I haven't tried it yet because I'm still using the older version. Never had an issue with it, so I don't fix what I don't need to fix. So, but yes, this is a tool to calculate the lot size based on your risk and percentage. To manage the trades, like I said, we're trading on a 1-minute chart, so if you do get in a trade, they usually don't take that long. So for example, Let's go back on Euro USD and the London session. So we had our entry here, so stop loss underneath here. So from entry, that's 3.2 pips. So first target would be 9.6 pips, which we get here on this candle. That's only 24 minutes for the first target, and then we would have gotten out somewhere around here. So that's about an hour and 15 minutes. So I don't really need a tool to manage my trade, because I do the same on each trade. I take the first half to 1 to 3 risk reward, and then when I hit 1 to 3, which is after 24 minutes, I set my stop loss for the second half to break even, and then after this, not even an hour later, is my exit. So, and that will be it for me. So 1 trade a day, I'm good. I don't need more than that. So I don't really need a tool that manages the trade for me when I'm in the trade, because I know exactly where I take the first half out, which is at 1 to 3 risk reward. Then I set my stop loss to break even, and then I just wait for an exit signal for the second half, and that's it. So it's very mechanical, basically. So the way I put this together, I haven't written it out yet because it's all in my head, but I have a plan basically from getting in, taking partials, and getting out. I know exactly where I'm getting in. I know exactly where I take the first half off. I know that I will set my stop loss to break even at that point for the other half, and then I know exactly where to get out for the second half. So that's all I need to know. There's really not that much managing involved, and it's all very mechanical. Like I said, there's no question in my head or doubt where I get in or where I get out. So it looks like Euro USD is heading down again. Let's see if we get a raid. This turned white now, so that's a good sign. Let's see if we get a liquidity rate on this low here, then this would be a valid entry here. Closed. I don't know, is today a holiday? Let me check. That would be funny. Yeah, let's do New York on a holiday. I honestly have no idea, so let's see. What is today? Holidays. Is today a holiday in the USA? Oh, it is Columbus Day. Ah. See, I had no idea. Why are they all working? They both went to work, so okay. Yeah, apparently, let's see. Is the US market closed on Columbus Day? Let's see. Oh, okay, see. While Columbus Day is a federal holiday, it does not impact the stock market's hours of operations. So that includes, yep, NASDAQ. So stock market and indices are open. So we're good to go. So yes, it is a holiday, but markets are not closed, to answer your question. So we're good. Let me zoom in on this one a little bit. So it looks like we're gonna take out at least this low here, which I would be satisfied with, since again my concept or my theory is TMA bands, which we did have a touch here, so logically we need to have the next touch here, which also tells me that we are on the way up there, working our way up there. But I do need to see some kind of liquidity grab first before I would even consider a trade. But it looks like we're getting this at least with this liquidity here, and we do have fairly equal lows here, 4 of them, so I would consider this valid to take an entry, but first we gotta get down there. I mean, ideally I want to see London low taken out. That would be ideal, but I'm satisfied with this if you get a valid signal after taking out this liquidity. So just so you guys know what I'm looking for right now. And we are in the dynamic discount zone, which is underneath that line. So we are in an area where we can take trades to go long trades, buy trades. So like I said, I just want to see some form of liquidity taken out first, since we're in a new session now. Ideally, like I said, I would like to see it go below the London session. But if it does take that and give me a valid entry signal, then I would take it. That's fine. Indices are waking up. Damn, look at that move. There's like gaps in there. See it, guys? Oh no, no gaps. But it looked, I mean, we have fair value gaps, but it looked like there was like complete empty spaces between candles. It's not the case, but it's still a strong move if you look at it. That's pretty strong going down there. Anywho, let's see if we get a USD rate here. It creates another low that is pretty much equal to the other ones so far. So, and you can see we already have the support dots. Oh, wrong one here. You already have the new support dots here, and you will see that that's moves down with price if price goes lower. Yeah, you can see, you saw that it just went low, and now again we did take liquidity, so that is valid. It doesn't have to be much, but we did take liquidity here, so that's good. So definitely going to keep an eye on that. So now what I want to see is I want to see a yellow arrow going up, a green arrow going up, and when we have both, we need to confirm here. And if those two are white and this one is green, we're good for an entry. So let me get my tool up here, and just gonna set my stop loss underneath. Just gonna change 100 times probably, but just to get it in place. If you're using the position size calculator, you can download a script or download the newest version with the EA, then you probably don't need it. But with the older version that I'm using, which is also in the zip file in the Telegram channel, you're gonna need an additional script which I put in there. It's called PSC Trader. That is, and then you need to set a hotkey for it, which I didn't do yet. See, I usually use Alt O, the letter O for open, which I set now. So you would have to do the same thing. Again, unless you use the newest DA. I think the newest DA has it set. You know, need that additional script for that, I think. I know, I haven't tried it yet. Okay. Yeah, and if I don't get an entry with my entry model, then I'm using ICT's model. That's why we have the fair value gap indicator on the charts as well. So here we get the yellow arrow and green arrow on this candle. However, this was still red, so that's not valid for me. And here we start going green on the Renko Street trend here, so that would technically be the first entry, but again, this is still red, so I cannot take that. However, if this happens to be a valid entry, because sometimes those indicators need to catch up, they're repainting, then I can use the fair value gap as well. But in order for me to use the fair value gap, now ICT teaches market structure shift, which in my opinion we had here because we broke this fractal. But I also want to see at least one white before I put a pending order on the fair value gap. So if on the next candle this turns white, I'm placing the order on the fair value gap. So the entry would be right here. And then, since this is the third or the first candle of the fair value gap underneath here, which happens to be the low as well, and then we see where it goes. Yeah, see, it turned white, so I'm gonna place my order here. Oh, I need to turn on auto trade, so O and O, so that's 2 orders. There we go. So I have 2 orders sitting here on that fair value gap, stop loss underneath. Target for both is at 1, 2, 3, but I'm gonna move one target up to the TMA band. Yeah. You can tell I haven't used this MT4 for trading yet. So that would be the trade that I'm looking for. And this adjusts as the band adjusts. So every 2-3 candles I check and just adjust the profit target for the second half. And if we hit this, well, first of all we need to get tagged in, but if we hit this, then I move my stop loss to break even. So that is the trade setup here. And indices, you are allowed to take a trade at 8:30. And not indices, I'm sorry, Forex. You are allowed to take a trade at 8:30. Indices, oh, the wrong app. Indices, ICT says should be 9:30 instead of 8:30. And why am I not getting my clock? Hello? Close this. Oh, there it is. Jesus. Oh. Now I've got 3. I didn't see it. Okay, so here's my clock. Sorry. Let me go back. Okay, let's see if it comes back and tags us in. And this is the one thing I don't like about the ICT entry model, because sometimes it just doesn't come back. And this repainted, see, now it's a valid entry on this candle. This is very unfortunate. I have to think about that, what to do, because now it shows as a valid entry on this candle, which would be just a pip above the fair value gap. Yeah, I gotta think about it. Maybe I'm just gonna use this one instead, because this was white for sure. Yeah, let's just do this for the session. Just minimize that one. Just go by those 2. Because this is kind of annoying that it actually repainted that much. So, but let's see, maybe we get a fair value gap entry here. We did break, we definitely broke structure now. We went above all these highs. And again, my bias is still long because the last touch of the band was here, and logically If it bounces between bands, it should touch the upper band next. So I'm looking for longs, and we are in a discounted zone here. So that's a valid trade setup, and we also rated liquidity here. And now we definitely broke structure. So let's see if we get tagged in. Technically we also have a order block here. I'm just gonna leave it at the extreme. Screw it. If we don't get tagged in, we don't get tagged in. Now wait with that until they actually have a trade here. As a matter of fact, since this is Euro USD, we can set the stop loss a little tighter. Let me cancel those two trades, so it's still up there. Delete. Let me reset that. Delete. I'm not actually gonna go exactly underneath price because we have such a good spread on Euro USD. There's just a little extra. So let's rinse and repeat. 1, 2 trades. I don't think it changed much, but and then we move the second profit target to the TMA band. Okay. I just moved the stop loss up a little bit. First TP for first trade 1 to 3. Yes. For the first half, it's always 1, 2, 3. I don't remove the TP, I just move it up to the TMA band. That's my TP2, so to speak, profit target 2. And then stop loss to break even. The TP is the TMA band on the top. If you want, Richard, I went into detail of the strategy yesterday in the live session on Sunday. I went into all the details, how I'm gonna trade it and how it's working. So if you want, go back to the session yesterday, watch that video. It's about an hour long. And you can skip forward to the small talk in the beginning because that was just live updates and forex updates and whatnot. So you can just skip ahead to the explanation of the strategy, which I think is like halfway through, maybe a little earlier. And I explain everything in detail there. And also, and I said that in yesterday's video as well, this is very loosely based on ICT concepts, just mixed with my own belief of market and how the market works. So I kind of mix them together. So this is not exactly how ICT teaches it, but his concepts are definitely in here. So if you are not familiar with the Judah swing, and if you're not familiar with the silver bullet, there are hundreds and hundreds of videos out there that you can watch about it. So I did not go into detail about those strategies. On top of that, every YouTuber that makes videos about it has their own opinion on how it should work and how it should not work. This is the way I use it. I basically just use the liquidity rate part of it and also entry models like this here. When my strategy doesn't give me the entry at the time where it's supposed to. And in this case, my entry would have been on the close of this candle here. So I would get a better entry with the fair value gap entry anyway. So I'm okay with that. That's why I have that fair value gap on there. In case I miss the entry with a strong move, then I just take the second chance entry here. You can maybe hear the little one singing. She's in her room singing. She's so cute when she wants to. So I think Mimi is coming home soon, which is her grandma. Then I can close my door and concentrate more on the charts. Yeah, there are also some YouTubers out there that say once we reach profit target, they remove the trade. I don't. If it's a valid setup, I leave it there. If you look here, for example, let's say you take the fair value gap entry on this previous trade in the London session. So we do break structure here for the first time. Let's see. There was a fair value gap here to the pip right there, and you can see price went way more than 1, 2, 3 up before it came back, and then made that entry. So there's no reason. Okay, it went past my profit target. It doesn't mean that trade doesn't work out. It did come back and go to that fair value gap down there to the pip, and then we would have easily gotten a 1, 2, 3 year. So that's why I don't. If I have a valid trade setup and I'm still within the kill zone hours, I leave my trade open. So that's just how I do it, or plan on doing it. Like I said, this is all brand new to me as well. I just put that together and put the rules together in my head and went over it yesterday in the live Q&A. And this is literally the first time or first session that I'm training it myself. So I might change things here and there as we go, like today with the dynamic premium and discount zone, which is how I'm gonna look at the TMA band from now on. So we have the middle line of the TMA band, so dynamic because it changes and moves. So everything below that TMA middle line is considered discount for me, so I'm looking for buys below. And everything above is considered premium for me, so I'm looking for sells above. Yeah. Look at that. Okay, well, it looks like you're gonna rate liquidity here. If that happens, which just did, I'm gonna cancel my order in this case. Now I'm looking for a sell. So let's see if we get that here. So now we rated the high here, and we touched the TMA band. Again, this is my theory. Touch of TMA band to touch of TMA band on the other side. So that's why my bias was still long, because we haven't fulfilled that yet. But now we did touch the upper band and we did rate liquidity. So both ICT concept and my concept are fulfilled for looking for a short. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. And since this was a really strong move, this is a demo account anyway, I'm gonna try to take the trade when we get a red arrow and a yellow arrow, period. That's it. I'm not even waiting for confirmation down here. So let me get my lines up here. As I explained yesterday, when we have a strong move, quick move, those indicators are out of whack anyway, so I'm just gonna ignore those. Get my stop loss up here. And we might as well go higher and take the London session high as well. So that could happen. We'll find out. Just gonna get my tool ready here. Let's see how high it goes. Or I might take a fair value gap entry. But this is the reason why I use my entry model here. because you can see price never came back. And we definitely hit 1, 2, 3 and profit target here. But fair value gap, it just tagged like 1/10 of a pip into this one here. And I'm sorry, this is way too much of a stop loss from here to here. It never came back to the extreme fair value gap. That's why I use my own entry model for this. And if I would have used my own entry model, which is yellow arrow and green arrow, we would have had an entry here. 1, 2, 3, roughly around here. Profit target here. So that would have been the first trade of, or maybe the only trade for me. Because that would have been roughly a 4 to 5% move with 1% risk. Combined. Probably more around 4. But I mean 4% on the day. I'm happy with that. I would have called it a day. So again, I'm learning as I go. Maybe I'm just going to use the water attar as a confirmation, which in this case would have not have given me a signal either. On this candle would have given me a signal. I'm just going to go by it. This indicator, so this definitely needs to be white, which it was at that point, and I'm just gonna minimize that. It was. Let me just get rid of those. I want to confuse people. So that goes, that goes, that goes. Period, and then I'm just gonna use this one with those 2 arrows, and that's it, and fractal. So. With Euro USD, I can actually set the stop loss right on the dots, because the spread here is like 0 to 0.1, so a very tight spread. So I'm okay with that. If you have anything else that has a little bit higher spread, you'll probably put it above the fractal at least. But in this case, I can literally put it above the high and low, because if I'm correct, it will never come back to that zone. Alright, let's see. Instant. And like explained yesterday, since we had such a strong move and quick move up, I can't even really regard this indicator in this case, because moves like that just totally take the indicator candles, several candles to catch up. So I can probably, I'm gonna wait. You can see this here. This is where it is on the scale, 0.55. Originally the indicator is made for or set to 0.5 where it turns white. I set it to 0.3 to be a little bit tighter. So, but technically in this case, I would probably consider it at 0.5 as well. We're at 0.54 right now. So let's see. Yeah, this is annoying me, because this would have been a good trade. And quick too. What was it, like 10-15 minutes? Let's see, entry, profit at 14 minutes, done. So let's see if we can. Okay, so technically we have a break of structure here now, but I don't see a fair value gap yet. And we do have an indicator that actually paints them automatically. And we're also not at 0.5 or lower yet, 0.59. So not taking an entry yet. Actually, let me set this to 0.5, so I don't have to guess where. There we go, 0.5, 0.5, and here as well. There we go. So now it's just white at 0.5, which when this signal came, it was white. So if I just go by yellow arrow and green arrow, then I would have had an entry here and a completed trade here. Just annoying. Yeah. So right now it's still green, so I'm not looking at anything here. This could be just a pullback to that order block here, or consolidation here, because that's where the move started. So it might come back here and then go higher. Like I said, I loosened this up a little bit, so I'm definitely gonna wait until it's white first before I consider anything here. Oh, I love coffee. One of the best inventions ever. Yeah, in case you're watching and you're not subscribed, you have to be subscribed in order to participate in the chat. I did that because when I was live streaming before, I had a lot of random people just come in and write stupid stuff and whatnot, and I just try to avoid that with the rule that you have to be a subscriber in order to post in the chat. I mean, it's not that it's gonna stop them, but it's at least a little bit something. Plus I get a subscriber out of it, so hey, it's a win-win in that case. So in case you're wondering, I don't know if you see that you have to be subscribed or not, but you have to be a subscriber of the channel in order to be able to post. Plus, like I said, I mean, I'm doing this all for free. The least thing you can do is subscribe and like the live stream. I'm not charging anything. The Telegram channel is free, the template is free, so yeah, definitely a lesson learned here. I'm gonna play this back later, but I can guarantee you that this was already white here. So this rate with the signal would have been a valid entry for me, and in this case we would have had a nice trade all the way up here, which my final target is that TP band, a TMA band. So we would have had a 1 to 3 on one position. Let me check, so I can tell you exactly how much it would have been. Pending. So if you would have entered here, stop loss right here, take profit. Okay, so this would have been a 1 to 3, so we would have hit that. And then for the other position, we would have had a 1 to 4.21. So yeah, roughly altogether probably roughly 3.6. So you would have made 3.6%, I guess. Let me see. So 3% plus 4.21 divided by 2. Yeah, so we would have had a 3.6% trade here. That's a smaller one, but hey, if you can make 3% every day, you're golden, trust me. I said that yesterday already. Let me show you, because we're waiting right now anyway. Let me show you this. Compound daily. There we go. So let's say you have a $500 account. Nope. And you only make 3% a day. Not only. That's amazing actually. And we have 30 days. This is for cryptos. And I do not include weekends. So we only trade during the week. Just for 1 month. So see what 3% does. After 1 month, making 3% every day, you more than double your account. That's compounding. So that's why I said if you're able to consistently make 3% a day, you're good. You more than double your account every month in that case. Those are good results. So I would have not been mad over a 3.6% profit here and calling it a day. People don't realize how powerful compounding is. Yeah, but like I said, on that example trade that I went over yesterday in the live session, if you would have traded London session and New York session together, you would have made 17.5% on that day. 17.5%. That is insane. In comparison, just to give you perspective here, Warren Buffett is looking for a 20% return for the year.
Alex,
Yes.
is clean.
What is clean?
Bodyguard's clean.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Her stuffed animal is clean now. I don't even want to look what she did. She's adorable. And she's in a good mood. Sometimes she's in a bad mood. I usually just close my door at that point. I'm able to do that. My landlords are not. But I don't mind watching her in the morning for a couple of hours. That's not a big deal. You okay, Everly? Are you good? What you looking for?
Bodyguard is all clean in the dryer.
I know, you told me that. But
But I need him right now out of the dryer.
oh, Mimi washed him?
Yeah, and I put him in the floor in the store.
Oh, okay.
He's dirty and he's clean.
Now I understand. Hey guys, give me a second. I'll be right back. I moved this back so you can see both charts here. I gotta help her real quick. I'll be right back. About 5 minutes. Okay, let's go. Let's check on your Bogart. It's stinky. she's on her way home, so. Alrighty, I'm back. We found Bogart. She's happy. Apparently she dropped it on the floor in the store yesterday, so Mimi was washing it overnight. So that it's clean again. It smells nice. Yeah, so you can see here we did have a raid. Yes. Okay. You gotta give me a few minutes, okay? We had the raid here. We had a break of structure. And we had a fair value gap. However, we are still green here. So I don't consider this valid. Even though we also had a red arrow now. Which came in way too late. Even for my kind of entry. So I'm just waiting for the next signal. See if that one does better. And we do have support already. See?
My cup right here. I got my cup.
Okay, Everly, I'm talking to someone. Sorry for that. Yeah, it looks like she forgot to plug in her tablet last night, so it's empty. There's not much I can do. And she doesn't want to watch TV, so. But it's also almost 9:30 here, so I'm assuming that Mimi is going to be here soon. Who's then going to take over, and then I can close my door here. So anyway, yeah, like I said, everything is here, but this indicator doesn't agree yet. So I'm not taking this entry, even though it would be picture perfect. And we can see it looks like it wants to go higher again. So it was probably a good idea. So maybe it comes close to the support again, maybe it grabs liquidity again, which could be. But even if it just goes back up there and gives us a valid signal, and at that point this is white, then I would consider an entry. So let's just move the stop loss up here for now, right on the support dots, because it's Euro USD. Set this back to instant and profit target at 3 times the risk. And while we're waiting here, see. While we're, what did I do now? I need my chat. Oh, that's what I did. Okay. Let's take a look at US 30, because it is getting to be close to 9:30. So it looks like we're gonna take out the high here. Here's a TMA band. There's a lot of liquidity up here. So I'm waiting for price to basically go up here to take out that London high, and then I will consider a short. So let's just set an alert here so I'm not missing it. I have my own alarm sounds. Not on this one yet. I forgot there's a new MT for installation. Okay, so it's fine. I don't like this one. This is the standard. Don't like that either. Let's do email.
Incoming mail.
Yeah, that's good. So I set an alert to the high here, and for shits and giggles, let's do one on it low as well. Yeah, this is good. Let's change that to the same just in case, because I don't want to miss the move here. And it's getting close to 9:30. So, okay, so we got this. And now let's see if we get an entry on Euro USD. If it just comes back, or if it actually takes liquidity again. So let's make this a little bigger here. Because it did rate that high, and it did come out of the band, so that's very good. This was not a valid entry yet, and now we see why. Now it's just a matter, is it gonna go higher, or is it just gonna go back and then turn around and give us an entry? So let's find out. And in this case, because we already made a move down, if we go up and do not break the high, and then we get a valid entry, I will set my stop loss above that high, not the dots up here. Unless it's very close, then I might just include that. Just FYI. But you can see how the indicator gives you the fair value gaps here. Not all of them, because technically this was one and here was one as well. But it hints at it, so don't have to think too much. So let's see what Euro USD is doing here. I definitely want to see that white first. Yeah, and even though we did have a fair value gap here, this was not before we broke structure. As you can see, we broke structure here, and at that point we did not have a fair value gap. So I don't like that fair value gap anyway because of that. If I trade a fair value gap, I want to see it developing before we break structure. And even if you don't consider that a break of structure, even though it's a fractal break, well, then we did not break structure at this point. So either way, I would not take this fair value gap. However, if it does come back here now and gives me an entry from my strategy, then I will take it. And we are in premium now, according to my rules, which is the middle band of the TMA. Everything above is considered premium. So I'm definitely looking for a sell after this rate. So let's see what we get here. Now we did have a red arrow. We did not have a green arrow going up. So it means that red arrow still stands. So if we get a yellow arrow going down here, that will be a valid entry signal. And we do have a fractal here, so let's set it here for now.
Incoming mail.
What? Already? Look at that. Oh, we're rating the high here. Interesting. Now I have two going on. Alright, let's see what we got here. So let me get my stop loss ready. Profit target times 3. There you go. So we can delete this alert. So we did take London high. Zoom in here as well. Okay, so now we're looking at 2 at the same time. So same thing, I'm just gonna look at this one here, and this is already below 0.5, so let me change the settings here on this one as well. 0.5. 0.5 is actually the original setting of that indicator, default setting. So, and you will see now that I changed it, it's already white. So that's good. So all we need is a yellow arrow and a green arrow going down, and then off we go. Okay, looks like we're getting 2 trades here. We still don't have a green arrow, so the red arrow is still the last one. So that's still valid. I would love to see this going in the white first though. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait until this turns white. I'm not gonna do anything here before. Okay. This looks like a really nice liquidity grab here. But we are green here now as well. I did check the news, so there's no red folder news on USD. I haven't checked Euro though. Let me check on that real quick. But that was earlier today. No. Fed speech, but that's medium. GBP has red folder news. Aussie dollar. So yeah, there's no high impact news on Euro USD or on Euro or USD, so that's good. Always check the news, guys. Don't trade 30 minutes before news, red folder news, and 30 minutes after. Always. At least that's what I'm doing. I stick to that. Okay, let's see. Keeps going. Let me remove the other indicators here as well, so we're not getting confused. There we go. Alright, now we hit the team A band as well, so that's 2 signs that I want to go short. So let's see what happens here. Wow, it's crazy when it's 9:30. On this one I have to go a little bit higher because the spread is way higher here. So I'm gonna include the spread here on the stop loss. Just roughly here. I have the spread down here, by the way. So 309, so let's see. From here to here. It's 429, so I'm actually, let's do it like this. Yeah, that's 309. Of course now it goes higher. Okay, so roughly 300 points here. Or 30 points, whatever it is, I don't know. I usually don't trade indices. But I go by this here spread. See, 309, so I want to be at least 309 above the high. Which is roughly here. 305, yeah, maybe a little bit higher. Like that. On Euro USD, I don't, oh shit. Ah no, it's not green yet. It's not green yet. I can't take this trade. And use that is one higher. we got another sell signal here with a yellow arrow. However, this is still green, so can't take it. So we gotta sit on our hands. Well, I have to sit on my hands. Let me put it that way. Okay. Just adjusting the stop loss here. But we're now at 87, so it's gonna take a while before we get an entry here. Well, not necessarily, but sometimes it goes quick. But I'm gonna be adjusting here for a while. Okay, let's see. Like I said, I cannot take a trade until this is white. Same here. So until then, I'm just sitting on my hands, waiting for an entry. Even though, like I said, we had red arrows again and the yellow arrow, I'm not considering that an entry as long as it's green. And it did swipe the high again. It did sweep the highs again. Right here. Barely. Only by a little bit. But you can see this high was 5492 and this high was 5494. So 5492, yeah. So by 0.2 pips, it actually swept that high again. So it kept me out of a losing trade here. And again, if this repaints, if we do get a break of structure here and then a fair value gap and this turned white, then I'm just entering on the fair value gap. Simple as that. So I have two different entry models here. But I'm not doing anything until this turns white. Same here. Because I loosen it up already anyway. It's set to 0.5 now instead of 0.3. So it's a little bit looser. So I'm definitely not doing anything until this turns white. And as you can see on Euro USD, that was a good idea because it did take the high again. Even though it broke structure and we had a fair value gap, which it completely ignored and rated the high again. So it kept me out of a losing trade here. Let's see. Oh, that's too much. 400, still too much. 320, yeah, that's fine. Just trying to stay above the spread here from the high. The spread says 309. Stop loss is now at 320 away from the high, so we're well within secure. Now it goes high again anyway. Yeah. So what's happening now? Just to be clear again, I'm waiting. I'm just looking on the two bottom indicators here, on both of them. We did have a valid rate. We did touch the TMA band, so both of my event criteria are given to take a short. And the same here, we rated the high and we touched the TMA band, so same conditions are given, so it's valid to look for a sell. However, the next condition that I have and with my strategy is I want to see this white. this bottom indicator. Before this turns white, I'm not doing anything. And unfortunately that did not work out for the Euro USD trade here, which would have worked out beautifully. But that was because I had the additional indicators. This actually was white at that point. I will rewatch that later when the session is over, but I remember this being white already even on 0.3, so this would have been a valid entry in this case, and this would have worked out beautifully. We would have hit our 1, 2, 3 right around here, and then profit target up here. And we would be already out of the trade with a 3.6% profit overall on the day. Just one trade. That would have been enough for me. But like I said, learn as you go. This is all new to me as well, so I'm still adjusting things here and there. But you can see the potential, hopefully. Let's see. 370, it's a little high. 340, a little lower. 316, that's fine. 309, 316, that's good. Okay, so we adjusted the stop loss here. Here on Euro USD, like I said, I have max spread of 0.1 pip, so I leave it on the high. Because once I take an entry, it should not come back to the high. And now we're waiting for those to turn white. And then see where we're at that point. This is at 0.55 now, so you can follow those numbers. This turns white at 0.50. So we're not far off here. We're definitely a little bit further off here. And we had a really strong move up here. That's the only downside of this indicator. When we have strong moves, quick moves, it takes ages to catch up. So it might turn white too late on this one. Just a heads up. On this one, we have a little up and down movement here now. A little bit zigzag, a little bit sideways. So this should be caught up by now. And we're only 0.02 away from 0.5. So this could give us an entry any minute here. Adjusting the stop loss. And again, first half of the trade is fixed at 1 to 3 risk reward. When we hit that, then we set the break even for the second half of the trade and let it go with profit target on the other side, which is the band down here. Or if you go into the discounted zone and get all the indication for a valid buy signal, then I would consider closing the trade as well. It doesn't always make it. What was a fair value gap now? Let's see if we respect it. Just curious. We did not have a valid break of structure. In order for me to consider this a break of structure, I would need to see a candle closing below it. A wick doesn't count for me. So nothing here yet, which is in line with that indicator here. Okay, now Euro USD is going higher again. So let's follow along, and we are white. See this? We just turned white. And we did not have a green arrow here yet. So the last arrow was a sell arrow, so that's still valid. So technically all we need is a yellow arrow at this point. This is white, and I would consider an entry. So let's see what happens. And I always wait for candle close. Very important. Never jump the gun. But yeah, this is white now, so this is good. This is a good sign. So that means there's weakness now. And we are outside of the band. We rated the highs 3 times now. And we got a fractal. So it's, you get a yellow arrow here, which is the last piece of the puzzle. And then I give it a shot. And even, you know, if you lose a trade here and there, it's not a big deal, because we usually have somewhere between 4 to 8% on each trade. So if we lose a percent here and there, it's not making a huge impact. There's a saying from I think his name is Scott Taylor. I like this guy. He's from England, UK. He has a very interesting strategy. I'm still learning it. But in his videos, he always says, "We don't cry over spilled milk." That's what he says when he hits a stop loss. It's just a losing trade. It happens. There's no strategy that will give you 100% win rate, ever. So, and since we do have a really good risk-reward ratio, which is usually combined between the two, between 1 to 4 to 1 to 8, always in that area, sometimes even higher. If I lose 1% here and there, it should not make a big deal. Impact should not make a big impact. So. Yeah, like I said, the only thing I'm waiting for is a yellow arrow at this point. So, and then of course a candle close, because we are white on it now. And the last buy sell arrow was red, so there was a sell arrow. It hasn't changed. There it is. So we got all 3. So when that candle closes and this is still there, then I will open up a trade. Just sucks because it's an instant trade. So opening 2 at the same time, it's gonna take a second in between, so they might not all be at the same entry. I prefer pending orders. So yeah, but here everything is in place, so let's wait until the candle closes. I like to use a clock here because this updates not always in time, so I like to look at the second handle here, right when it hits the 4 minute. So let's see, and it's still there. Okay. Hello? There we go. Okay. So we took the trade. We actually got a better entry. I hope, at least. What? Why is this? I don't need this in here. Okay. So we took the entry. We have 2 trades, right? Yeah, 2 trades. And I just noticed that there's no TP. Why is there no TP? And no stop loss. So let's put the stop loss in place first for both of them. That is strange. Okay. Stop loss in place for both. Okay, and then we have how much? 1.7, so I have to do this manually now. So for this one it's 1.8, so 5.4, it's 49, 52, 54. There we go. Okay, I had to do that manually. Okay, so we're in a trade. Again, we did turn white. We did get yellow and red again for the third time. So that was a valid entry. This might not work out. Like I said, no strategy is perfect. But you gotta follow a plan somehow. And we did get actually a better entry up here when this candle closed, because it took a while for the script to open those trades. And here we cannot do anything yet. It's still green. So let's see if that works out. And I set one half of the one of the trades to 1 to 3 risk reward, which we had 1.8 pips, so this is 5.4 pips. Yep. And again, the amounts are not that staggering because this is a $500 demo account. But you need to learn to go by percentages. If you over leverage or whatever, you're gonna do more damage than good. Unless you're a really successful 90% win rate trader, then by all means over leverage all you want. And some people do that, but I'm not, so I'm gonna keep it at 1% risk period. And I showed that earlier in the video. If you make only 3% a day over the course of a month, 22 trading days, you more than double your account just with 3% trade a day. So that's a lot, and that's the power of compounding. And looks like we're getting stopped out here, or not. Yeah, that doesn't look good. Usually I like to see them go. I want to see if I can actually add that same indicator twice and then set it to 0.3 on that one, just so I can see the difference. Again, I'm still learning this as well. So that speed is 0.5. Oh, can I change this yet? Oh, I can. Okay, 0.3. 0.3. Let's see if I can add two of the same indicator here, just so I can see the difference while I'm still learning this. Minus colors. Green, fabric, light gray. Oh, it does work. Okay. Now 5 minutes back. Okay, so now we have one with 0.5 and 0. Oh, I'm sorry, 0.3 and 0.5. Why is this? Oh, set to black. Oh, it's set to white. Okay, but it works, so we can see the difference here. And we get stopped out. So maybe you have to leave it at 0.3. So, okay. I'll delete this one. Let's set this one back to 0.3. Yes, ma'am.
Still need water.
You never told me you need water. What are you talking about? You're saying it like you already told me 10 times. Give me a second, guys. Alright. 3 cups. Oh, you have a cup? Is that a water cup or was there apple juice in it?
Apple juice is old apple juice now.
Old apple juice? Okay. Then I'm gonna take a fresh cup. Use that one. You know where your cups are? You said you want water? What's up? Alright, I'm back, guys. Sorry for that. I still have babysitter duties. Alright, so yeah, 0.5 was a little bit too loose. If we would have left it at 0.3, we would have not had a stop out here. So I'm just gonna leave it at 0.3. I'd rather miss a trade before I have a stop out. This is interesting. We got a huge fair value gap here, and then a smaller fair value gap within the fair value gap. I'm having some breakfast. I apologize. Have to adjust my stop loss on here. Let's see. Oh, that's good. You always want the stop loss above the high plus spread, and that's why I have that indicator on here. It tells you exactly what the spread is. So in this case 309, so I wanted a little bit above 309 above the high, so now we're at 347. That's a little bit higher, that's fine. And you always gotta account for the spread. Not SNC, ICT. And high OVD. Since you just got here and asked that question, if you want, up to you. I made a live session yesterday, live session Q&A. It's on my channel. The video from yesterday, where I go over the strategy and what it consists of and how it works. It's about an hour long, but the actual strategy explanation is about 30 minutes. The rest is just small talk and question answers and updates and whatever, so you can skip forward to the actual strategy explanation. It's only like 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes, and then you understand what I'm doing here. But yes, this is a mix between my own theory that I firmly believe in, which is the TMA theory, and also ICT mixed in specifically the judo swing and also the silver bullet. Which, talking about it, we're just going into the silver bullet hour. That is that gray area on my chart. So I marked out the silver bullet hour as well. And first candle we take the high on both. So it looks like we're definitely looking for a sell on both of them. Did it take the high here as well? Yep, sure did. So silver bullet hour is another confluence. Looks like we're gonna sell this. Yeah, I did that. I only set it to 30 seconds, which is very low. I just hate it when people come in here and spam and just spam the chat. That's why I set it to 30 seconds. I think the default is 60 seconds, and I think that's a little bit too long. Plus, it also gives me some time to respond, because my responses are like 10 seconds delayed. So by the time you hear me saying it, I said it 10 seconds before that. So those are the two reasons why I enable that. So I actually have time to respond, and you have time to hear my response before you post the next question or ask an additional or whatever. But mostly to protect from spam. So, but again, it's only 30 seconds. Not that much of a slowdown. Yeah, so this new strategy that I came up with is, I call it the best of both worlds. So it incorporates my theory that I developed for myself, and also ICT, different concepts. Like I said, in specific judo swing and silver bullet hour. I didn't go into detail about the actual ICT concept and how it works, because there's hundreds and hundreds of videos out there. And funny enough, everyone tells you something different. I just incorporated it in my strategy as I see it, as I understand it. And this is actually the first time me trading this. The advantage I have is I have two different entry models. I have the fair value gap entry model, and I also have my own entry model. The advantage is, I noticed when I was back testing the Tudor swing that sometimes it just takes off. It just doesn't come back to the fair value gap. So there's days where you don't have a trade, and that's okay, you know. Everybody says that you don't have to have a trade every day, and I get that. However, if I have another method of entry, that's where my strategy comes in, then why not take that, you know, and not missing out on the trade. So what I mostly use, if you're familiar with ICT concept, is the theory of liquidity sweep, because that's uniquely the same across the board with all the videos that explain it. They all need some liquidity sweep first. So I did incorporate that. And we're looking at internal lows and external lows. I prefer session lows to be taken out, but if like here on a Euro USD, let me show you. And this is where my strategy or my theory comes into play. If I look back before the session started, in London session we actually did touch the band here. So my theory is that when we touch the lower band, we will somehow move to the upper band, which we did. So when the session opened, this is what I saw. We did touch the lower band, so we're on our way up to the upper band. So my bias was long. However, I needed a liquidity sweep first. And since we already started that move, I did not only consider this liquidity, because this was basically the low outside of the TMA band. So again, if you combine it with my theory, there's no reason to come back there. But we did have equal lows here. So I said in the beginning, before when the session started, that I would consider a rate of that liquidity as valid because we're in the middle of a move. And that's exactly what happened. We came down here, we swept the liquidity, and then we had an entry here. But here you can see this was the extreme fair value gap. Price never got back here. It barely touched into the upper fair value gap here and then moved higher. And that's why I have my own entry method, which now is this indicator needs to be white, which at that point it was. And you can watch that back. And then we need a liquidity rate, which we had. We need a yellow arrow and we need a green arrow. We had both. I think on this candle, because that yellow arrow didn't show up until this candle closed, even though it looks different now. But this is where the yellow arrow showed up. So when this candle closed, it was a valid trade. So you enter here, which is not far from the actual fair value gap. Put your stop loss underneath the low. And then first target is 1 to 3. We take 2 halves with 0.5% risk. So 0.5% risk, total 1%. And then we have 4.1 pips here. So first target is 12.3 pips, which happened right here. So we hit first target on the first half here. And when we hit that target, we set the stop loss to break even. And the second profit target is the band, which we touch here. And that would have been my trade, and that would have netted 3.6% on the day. So not only does the combination of my theory and ICT concepts allow me exactly allows me 2 different entry models, but I also know exactly where I'm going. There's no guesswork. And I'm happy with 3.6% in total. I'm happy with that. More than happy. So unfortunately I missed that trade because I had added indicators here. I have since removed them. I'm just going by this one indicator now and the 2 arrows and liquidity sweep and support resistance starts. So Exactly. So that's I'm just included the liquidity sweeps, the fair value gaps as a second chance entry. So here we had a sell arrow and a yellow arrow, but it's still green. And so now I'm looking for, the way I understand it, hopefully, price coming further up again, maybe not taking the high, but coming further up, maybe to this fair value gap. There's still a extreme fair value gap. And then if it doesn't take the high, turn around, give me another yellow arrow while this is turning white. And then I would enter and put my stop loss above that high. So not all the way up to the top, but above that high that we create there. That's what I'm waiting on right now here. And this just has turned white. And we do have a fair value gap up here. We did break structure, so you know what? I'm gonna put a pending order now. See, now I'm using ICT entry model. In this case, I'm just gonna put it a little bit higher, not too much. Because technically, it should not go with it high. That gives us enough room with the spread. Actually, you know what? Let me put it above the fractal. I'm gonna set up 2 pending orders here. And again, I encourage everyone, if you're not familiar with ICT concepts, fair value gaps, Judas swing, and silver bullet hour, please watch videos. There's hundreds and hundreds of videos out there, so you get the gist of it. And again, just keep in mind, you're gonna hear a different thing in each video, different times, and well, the time on the silver bullet is not different, but everybody does it differently. But silver bullet basically says we need to take liquidity, which we did in the silver bullet hour. Wait for a break of structure, which we have here, and then place an order at the extreme fair value gap, which I did. And this does actually coincide with my template, because we did rate the highs before. We did touch the upper TMA band. Not only touch, we came way outside of it. So we did a huge liquidity rate here. We rated again in the silver bullet hour. And then we broke structure. So this is a very valid trade for me. And this is 1, 2, 3 target, which is valid for one of the 2 half trades. So I moved the second at the TMA band. And when we hit this, we set the stop loss to break even. If we even get tagged in. So let's see. Oh, this is now white too. And we do have an extreme fair value gap that is untouched. Look at that. So let's see. Show lines. Stop loss above the first candle of the fair value gap. Pending. Move the entry right here. There we go. Take profit is 3. So I set 2 pending orders here as well. That should be it. Let me see. So yes, we have 4 orders now. 2 on each with 0.5% risk. Let's remove the lines. And we do the same thing here too. We take 1 take profit and drag it down to the teammate. That's the TP2, so to speak. If you even get tagged in, I don't know. Let's see. Hey, and if we miss the trade, that's fine. There's always another one. But those These pending orders are textbook ICT silver bullet trades. And it just happens to coincide with my strategy because I was already looking for shorts. So that's an additional confirmation. So this trade setup is absolutely valid for me. Here I had to set the stop loss a little bit higher because the spread is higher on the US30. But ICT says at minimum above the fair value gap candle. But this is too close for me. He said safer is the first candle of the fair value gap 3 candle constellation, which is this one here. So that's where I put my stop loss. Or he said if you want to be really safe, put it above the high. But back testing it, I found the first candle of the fair value gap constellation is absolutely enough. It does happen sometimes that it does go higher than that, but most of the times it stays within that candle and doesn't go to it doesn't take the high of that candle anymore. So that's where I put my stop loss. That is the safe stop loss for me. So let's see if we get an entry. I would be so excited if this works out. This is my first time actually trading the strategy. But you see how we can combine the silver bullet strategy with the overall strategy that I use, because it gives you additional confirmation that you're looking for a short here. There's videos out there that tell you, oh, just take the first value gap that forms within the silver bullet hour, and even though that doesn't always work, you're still going to be profitable with a 1 to 2. But that's not enough for me. So in this case, I already have a bias before I go into the silver bullet hour, which is short, because we took out liquidity of a session. We are trading above the TMA band, which is a sell zone. So automatically my bias is short. So we did take out liquidity on the first candle, which is definitely something you want to see. Taking liquidity within the silver bullet hour. It did that on both. Here barely, but it still did it. And then we broke fractal structure here. And we had a fair value gap. However, this is not the extreme gap. The extreme gap is actually up here. So that's where I placed my order. And this is a very similar setup. Silver bullet hour, we took liquidity on the high. We made a displacement move down, a very displacement move. Very strong, it's very obvious. And we also broke fractal structure in the process. We had a candle close below. So that makes that fair value gap valid for me. And also in unison with my strategy, which again calls for a short. So this is also a valid setup. The only difference is, instead of putting it stop loss here, because we have a higher spread on US30, I put my stop loss a little bit higher to cover the spread. And here's my entry. And first target 1 to 3, second target TMA band, and this shifts, as you can see, so you always have to adjust that, which you probably have to do here too. And as it goes down, as price goes down, this shifts down again, so you're going to be constantly adjusting that, but that's fine. I just want to see if we get an entry, because we did tap in this lower fair value gap. I want to see if it makes it back to the extreme. Same here. This looks nice though, because we are creating equal highs here. That looks like we're building up liquidity right underneath the fair value gap. So we have fairly equal highs here. So Price might just move down here a little bit, make it look like a resistance. Retail traders jump in to sell, and then it takes it up into that fair value gap, takes the liquidity above those highs, taps into the fair value gap and goes down. So that's how I understand it. Euro USD is about to tag us in. So let's see if that works out. Again, this is a demo account. I'm testing that strategy. But yeah, these are the two concepts that I'm trading. I trade the Judo swing, or my version of the Judo swing, let me put it that way, because everyone has a different one. And then also the silver bullet hour. And this is definitely a silver bullet trade. The only difference is I'm allowed to take 11 o'clock, yeah, never mind. It's the end of silver bullet hour anyway. So yeah, at 11, that's when the session is done. So if you don't get an entry, then that's it for today. One loss, period. I could probably extend it to 11:30. Some of those guys are doing that 11:30. But let's stick with 11 for now. That's what silver bullet calls for. So it's still playing around here. Are we getting tagged in now? Wow, that was close. Let's see. This was order block already. Oh, this was the inverse fair value gap on the pip. Are you kidding me? Okay, so we had an inverse fair value gap here. Let me put it on here so you guys can see it. Customize. Rectangle. Insert. Close. So it was right here. So this was a bullish fair value gap, and we broke through it, which makes it a reverse fair value gap, and we literally went in on the pip. Technically I should have put my order here. I used the bearish fair value gap, but also the reverse fair value gap, but I didn't see that. It was right here and it tagged it to the pip. Well, let's see what happens. Maybe it comes back, but that should have been my entry. Let's change it. I don't like this color. That's too bright. Let's make slate gray. Yeah, still too bright. Make dim gray. Yeah, I guess that's good. Yeah, like I said, we had a bullish fair value gap here between this wick and this wick, which was just broken through, which makes it a reversed fair value gap, and that's exactly where it came back to, on the pip, literally on the pip. So my order, instead of being where it is now, should have actually been right here, and then we would have been tagged in. But I missed that entry, so let's just keep it there, because if it does come back, it might actually fill that order block. Fair value gap. So let's leave it here. If not, we missed the trade. Just as an explanation for you guys. This would have been a valid entry as well, and you can see it was literally on the point. So you would have caught it right on the top, zero drawdown. Because this is also a valid entry model that ICT teaches. So that if you have a reversed fair value gap, if you have a fair value gap within a reversed fair value gap, that's very powerful. So this would be valid, and it would literally just tagged us in and took off. Kind of overlooked that, not gonna lie, but hey, I'm learning. So because we missed it, I'm gonna leave it at the actual fair value, bearish fair value gap. Because if it does come back, it will definitely go back into the fair value gap. That's what I'm hoping for here. So there's no reason to move it down now because that entry happened already. If it does come back, I want a better entry, so I'm going to put it at the actual fair value gap. Or no trade. It's my way or the highway. So let's see. This is still set up right? 3.6, 9, 10.8. 10.8, perfect. And this is good too. We might get tagged in on this one, you know. And there's no well, technically there is an inverse fair value gap right here. But this one is higher than the fair value gap, so I can leave my entry there. But are we gonna miss this on a tick as well? Really? Let's see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I totally overlooked the inverse fair value gap here, or reversed fair value gap, whatever you call it. I did not see that. It happens. But you can see how, well, I'm just fascinated. Like, you know, you can say about ICT what you want. I can't stand his videos because he talks too much that is unrelated to the actual concepts and methods that he teaches. And he goes on rants all the time. And that's why it's really hard for me to follow his videos. And there's also a lot of talk out there in the community, in the Forex community, that he's basically full of ish. And there is no algorithm, that's all made up. And oh, we got our entry, look at that. And there's the same indicator, why is this on there? So yeah, we got our entry on US 30, so let's see how that works out. Oh, and look, we already crossed down here, so that's even better. That's a nice confirmation. Where was I? Yeah, there's talk out there that he's full of ish. There's an algorithm and whatnot. And you know what? This might as well be. I'm not excluding that. I'm not a ICT super fan that defends him wherever. Like I said, I find his videos actually annoying and really tough to follow. I prefer other people's explanations of his concepts, even though each one of them has their own how do you say, interpretation of that strategy, which is really funny. Even the ones that say, well, ICT didn't teach that, so I'm going to tell you the real strategy, and then they make something up that he never said. It's kind of, actually, it's really funny to watch those videos. But I do appreciate them because they try to bring it down to the essence of the strategy and without going on rants. And that's why I really do not like to watch ICT videos. I did it anyway because I was like, I might as well get it from the horse's mouth. And then what I hear is what I think, basically, even though it was tough to sit through. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not an ICT super fan and defend him to my death and whatnot. And again, you can say about the guy what you will. However, his ideas work, period. So you may think what you want about the guy, and it might be a totally different reason why it works and not be an algorithm. But bottom line is, it works. So say what you will about the guy, and I'm not a big fan of him either, but it works. And that's why I incorporated it in my trading strategy. That's my point of view on ICT. Like I said, not a big fan, because I think those rants are probably because he has a bipolar personality disorder, which is close to narcissism. So I understand his rants, given his situations, and well, he can call it not a condition, but a sickness in that case, or a disorder. That's what it is. It's in the name. So it's not necessarily his fault. It's just what he admittedly is. But again, it's just really tough because of that to sit through and listen to his rants and how he's the best trader, and he makes fun of people that told him that he will not be able to do this, or this is ridiculous. You know, if you've seen ICT videos, you know what I'm talking about. He goes on a lot of rants, and it makes his videos really hard to watch, because you're like, okay, come on, let's just continue with the stuff here. Let's get this over with. And I can guarantee you that you can boil down his videos to probably 10 to 15 minutes if you just concentrate on the content. If you really just explain the strategy, you can boil it down to 10-15 minutes each. And some of them are repeating, where he explains a concept again and again. So yeah. But then again, like I said, on the other hand, other point of view is you may not believe in the algorithm. I totally understand that. It is hard to believe that story. Even if there is an algorithm, I find it hard to believe that he would be involved in that and being kidnapped for it, whatever his stories are. Those stories I have a hard time believing, honestly. So even if there's an algorithm, I don't believe that he was involved at all. And I'm not necessarily saying that there is an algorithm. However, maybe if you look at it that way, how many people have learned his concepts now? A lot of people. And they're using it every day. So what if it is a self-fulfilling prophecy? If you look at it that way. If enough people trade it that way, you know, I know we as a retail trader alone don't have the power to move the market. I'm very well aware of that. And believing in ICT or not, that's a fact that I believe in. But let's say we have thousands of traders trading the same strategy and taking entries at roughly the same points. Wouldn't that move the market? Is that why that concept works? Just something to think about. I mean, this is far-fetched, I admit it, but just something to think about. What I can say with certainty is that I did backtest this on TradingView, and it does work very well, actually. And then I had the idea, okay, let me combine this with my theory that I have and I believe in, which is very simply just a move from one side of the TMA band to the other one. That's what I firmly believe in, even though this indicator repaints. But it shows you the possible range of the price fairly well, in my opinion. And if I combine those, not only do I get two different entry models and confirmation with my theory behind the ICT trade or bias fairly easily without even having to think about it, but I also get exact targets. I know that my second target is right here. And from my back test, if you go into a trade and you reach 3 to 1 and it does come back, it's usually because it either wants to stop you out and keeps continuing in the same direction, but then we get an entry signal again, So even if it gets stopped out for the second position, we get an entry right away again. So we take it, and that usually works out, the second one, which is basically the move back to the fair value gap. If you overlay those two, so it's still very valid. Or if it comes back and stops you out, it actually takes out the high or low again and then gives us another entry. So that's why from backtesting it, I saw that it almost always reaches 1 to 3. Not always, but most of the time. So that's my first profit target. Hard profit target. There's no interpretation possible. And then I set my stop loss to break even and act accordingly. It's really, really, it ticks me off that I overlooked that reverse fair value gap. But it is what it is. Next time I pay attention. We would have been in on the tick. But let's leave the order there. We're not on the other side yet. Maybe it comes back there. Yeah, that's another thing. Not all of the people, but a majority of the people that explain ICT strategies or concepts on YouTube will tell you that if you have a pending order, we're not getting tagged in, and we reach profit target, take the order off. It's not valid anymore. That is not true. If you have a valid entry, it is a valid entry regardless. Now you can say, okay, we're after 11, so I take the order off. That's different. But if you're within valid kill zone hours, I leave the trade sitting there. For example, and I think I went over this earlier, but I'm doing it again. Here, this is Asian non-on session. We rated the low of the Asian session. We got an entry here. Price went up and broke structure, right? The fair value gap that was left is right here. This is the extreme fair value gap on the 1 minute. Let me just drag this out a little bit. Yeah, kind of like that. This is the extreme fair value gap. Yeah. So if you say you put a pending order here, which actually you never get tapped in, and put your stop loss here, that's 3.2. So a 1 to 3 would be 9.6 pips, which you hit roughly here. So most of the YouTubers would say, okay, take it off. Take your order off at this one. But what happens? Price goes higher. We come back. We build up equal lows and liquidity. We entice people go long. We come back. We create more equal lows. And then what happens? We tap into that order block. Not order block, fair value gap. Well, actually, we did tap into the order block as well. So tell me again why this is not valid. If you have a pending order here and your stop loss is below the first candle of the fair value gap, you're good. That would actually be another confluence with the trade before. So you see how this is complete nonsense. If you're still within trading hours, then by all means leave the trade open. Now if you're out of kill zone, great, then I understand it, take the order off. I understand, but as long as you're in valid kill zone hours, keep the trade open. And at this point we were in valid kill zone hours, so, and that would have been the entry point. And look, yeah, that was the end of London kill zone and the beginning of New York kill zone in between, but it was still a valid order even then. And it would have worked out beautifully. So that whole, I'll take it off, I don't agree with that. Anyway, let's go back here. We have an open trade here. Let's adjust the profit target. This is my TP2. TP1 is 1 to 3 heart. I don't change that. Which in this case 1 to 3 actually coincides with those lows and the fair value gap, which has a lot of room open. It was barely tapped into. Yeah, this one I probably can close because I'm gonna leave it open for now, but once it is 11 and we just keep going down, then I can close that one. And again, this is kind of annoying because I overlooked the reverse fair value gap. Otherwise we would have had that entry literally on the tick and we would be in this trade as well. Yeah, it is like I said, I love the guy for what he does. I mean, you gotta give him some kind of respect because he puts it out there for free. He's not even charging people. I mean, he did charge people, but he's not right now, and I did not pay anything. So I give him credit for that. And again, sorry, I'm just trying to finish up my breakfast here. Now look at that, we would almost already be at TP1 here, almost. You gotta give him credit for giving his teachings out like he does for free. And regardless of what he says is true or not about the algorithm and how he was involved and how he got kidnapped over it and whatnot, and other people calling him out because the traded contests he never made it to first place, always got eliminated and whatnot, all the stories. While he claims he was never in one of those contests, but apparently he was, and that was proven. So that's a lie. But I don't care about all of that. I don't care about the man's past. I give him proper respect and credit, but I don't care about what he done before, or if he makes stories up why his concepts work with the algorithm. When honestly, I don't care. The one thing that I do care about is, does it work or not? That's the question that I have from my perspective. Does his teachings work or do they not work? And from backtesting this, I can tell you it works. And it works very well, actually. And combined with my theory that I have, which is a simple TMA theory, it works really well, actually, and gives you a lot of profit, at least for my backtesting. So again, say what you will, but I'm grateful for that. Even though it's hard to sit through his videos, but I give him respect for that, and I give him credit for that. Anyway, that's my rant. This is how I see it. This is how Sue sees it. It's a quote from Glee. I miss Sue. I loved Sue in that show. Yes, agreed. The markets are definitely rigged, and I see that over and over, especially when I trade with a full set of indicators, where you do have a valid setup, and then I see exactly when the market is manipulated. So I've seen that time and time again. So I know the market is rigged, and I know they're cheating retail traders out of the money. I firmly believe in that. And I do believe in the theory how big institutions trade, that they create liquidity, then take the liquidity, because that's the only way for them to get into trades. with the amount that they put behind their trades without shifting the market. So I do believe in that theory. However, is it an algorithm? Is it not? Was he involved? Was he not? Was he kidnapped over it? Was that a made-up story? Again, those are things, and no disrespect to him, but I couldn't care less about that. Again, what it boils down to from my perspective is, does his stuff work? Can I reproduce it in the back test? And if it does work, how well does it work? That's the only thing that I care about. And again, you can say what you will about the guy, but it works. So if it works, I'm gonna do it. I don't care if he came up with the algorithm, if there is an algorithm or not. I don't care. What I do care is that what he teaches works. Whatever the reason behind it is, if it's made up reasons or the real reasons that he tells us, I really don't care. I really only care about, does it work or not? That's all. So yeah, we would have hit 123 on Euro USD already here, and we would have had the stop loss for the second half at break even. So this would be a winning trade at this point, with a 1.5% gain already, because we risk 1% in total. So we would have closed half a percent risk on 3 times risk reward. So that's 1.5% we would have in the back already. And now we would have our stop loss at break even. Yeah, that's what I said. There's every video tells you something different times, how to approach it. You don't need a daily bias. You do need a daily bias. It's enough to have a daily bias or on the hour chart. If you trade on the 1 minute, you have to have a daily bias. It's better to go from the weekly down. Everybody's telling you something different, really. But again, if I do combine it with the TMA strategy or TMA theory, which I firmly believe in, even though that thing repaints like crazy. But if you, and I said this morning when I started, what I'm gonna do from now on is consider the TMA band a dynamic premium and discount area. Dynamic premium and discount area. And this I came up with. I didn't see that in a video. I came up with this. I just wanna say that here now and forever on YouTube. I'm calling this a dynamic premium discount zones. So everything below the middle line of the TMA is a discount. Everything above the TMA middle line is premium. So I'm allowed to take trades when I'm below the middle line to the upside, and when I'm in premium, I'm only allowed to take shorts. I changed that today, so that way I don't necessarily have to touch the band, because we all know that they repaint like crazy. However, if the band is a little bit lower and we did not touch the band, we're still in a discount zone, so this trade would be valid. I coined it, exactly. Starting to sound like ICT now. But like I said, I combine this with my theory, the gist of it, and that's how I trade it, like I said. In this case, we had a raid on the Asian session on the low. However, I need to wait for price to come in discount for a buy, which we start going into discount here, my discount, dynamic discount area. And then we have to wait for this indicator, and here it starts turning white. We get the green arrow, we get the yellow arrow, entry time. That's it. In this case, because we already had a fractal going from the support dots, we are allowed to put the stop loss right underneath that low, which later on becomes a fractal as well. So we have a very tight stop loss here, and then 1, 2, 3, and then we get a turnaround here. So that would have been, I think I measured that before, like 4.5% on the day already. And then that would have been my London session trade done. And if I trade New York, like I said, that would have been my trade for New York, and I would be done here. I just took the silver bullet now because I only had one losing trade so far, and I don't want to end it on a losing trade. Yeah, no, I don't want to be the new ICT. Are you kidding me? All the controversy about him, the stuff that people post about him. I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of the guy, his personality, but you gotta take into consideration, and I always see both sides of the story. He has a personality disorder, and he even freely admits it. He admitted it in one or a couple of his videos. I heard it for sure once. So you gotta take that into consideration. Do you have to like the guy? No, but also at the same time, he has a disorder. So you gotta keep that in mind. And on top, if you give him proper respect and credit for what he gives away for free, and considering that how well it works, show the man some respect. You don't have to like him, but show him some respect. That's all I'm saying. You know? You don't have to believe him. You can have insider knowledge that there's no algorithm. But why call him out? Let him do his thing. You can say it in your video, you know, I don't believe in an algorithm. That's fine. That's your right, you know. But leave the guy alone. There's people out there that go on witch hunts because of him. And I don't agree with that. I'm not a fan. Again, I'm not a fan of ICT, but I don't agree with witch hunts. Let the guy do his thing. You have the right to not believe him. That's fine. I don't believe his stories, honestly. But I don't have to. Again, I couldn't care less if the stories are true or not. What I do care about is, does it actually work what he teaches? That's what I care about at the end of the day. And backtesting it, I can say, yes, it does work. So I will trade it. Simple as that. So yes, I think I can take this Euro USD off now because we're almost at 11 and we didn't get an entry. So I doubt we're going to come back in 2 minutes. That's very unfortunate. But yeah, in this case, the mistake that I made was that I overlooked this bullish fair value gap that was broken through and turned into a reversed fair value gap, and that's why we had our entry. So let me mark that out for you so you know what I'm talking about. Make it a little bit clearer. Where was it? Right here. Okay. So this was a bullish fair value gap as price went up, and then price just went through, totally disrespected this fair value gap, and at the same time created a fair value gap inside of the bullish fair value gap, which turned now into a reversed fair value gap. So it makes it even stronger. If this is the case, you do not set your entry at the fair value gap, the bearish fair value gap. You actually set it at the reversed fair value gap that turned bearish. And that's exactly on the tick where we got our entry. And with the spread that we have on Euro USD, which is 0 to 0.1, we would have been tagged in literally on the tick with no drawdown. And we would be at 1.3 already and rest in break even. So that was the mistake that I made here. Just to recap. And then on this one, we did have an entry here, but this was not green, so I couldn't take it. It happens, especially after a strong move up. I called that beforehand. But as price broke structure, or made a market shift, let me put it that way, this did turn white and cross down. So that told me that it is okay for me to take a fair value gap entry. So I did set a pending order on the extreme fair value gap, which we had right here. even though the indicator did not show that. So I probably can take that off because it's not very accurate. So we did have a fair value gap right here. Let me make this bigger. You can see this here. This wick stops here, and the wick from the third candle, there's not even a wick. So this is all fair value gap here. We only had sell orders in this area. And then we did break a fractal with a candle close. So valid entry, confirmation of my indicator. Yes, this was indeed a turning point. So I set a pending order at the fair value gap, and we got tagged in right there. Stop loss goes above the high of the fair value of the first of the 3 fair value candles, which a fair value gap. Fair value gap always coincides of 3 candles. And I put it a little bit higher because of spread. You can see the spread is a little high on this one, so I adjusted for spread and put my stop loss up here. And that was the pending order. We got filled, and we're now on the way to 1, 2, 3 here. And profit target 2 will be the team A band on the other side, and then at least we have one. Hopefully, I'm not gonna praise the day before the night is over, let me put it that way, but if we hit both profit targets, we should have made up for that loss and then some, because we always have 1, 2, 3 at least minimum, and this is probably a 1, 2, yeah, that's a good 1, 2, 4, a little bit over. So all in all, 1 to 3.5 risk reward on that trade. And we lost 1%, we made 3.5, so we're gonna leave with 2.5 profit for the day, which is good. It's okay. And if I wouldn't have overlooked that fair value gap on Euro USD, would have already taken profit TP1 on it as well, which I will pay attention to next time. Yeah, that's what I meant. Reversed FVG, reversal FVG. Yeah, that's what I meant. Reversed FVG. That's what that was. And since the bearish fair value gap was sitting inside, it is okay to take it from the outside of the reversed FVG. In this case, did we have? No, there was no reversed FVG. But yeah, that's why I said I overlooked that one. Otherwise, I would have set my entry to that, and that would have been the entry on the tick. Like literally on the top of the wick was the entry. Would have tagged us in. 3 to 1 would have already been hit, and the second half would be risk-free right now, and TP down here. Yes, reversed FVG. I was looking for the reversal or whatever. I didn't really pay attention to the exact names or whatever, just what it does. There was more, but thank you. You're right. Reversed FVG, and I, like I said, I overlooked that. I didn't see that. It's the first day trading this. But if I would have seen that, then I would have set my entry right here, which would have been on the tick on the top of this wick, and then the stop loss right above here. And again, it would have come down, hit 1 to 3 risk reward already, and we would have our stop loss at break even right now, and we would just wait for price to either hit break even or hit the other side of the TMA band, which is here. And this we have to adjust because again, this TMA band adjusts to price movement, so we have to constantly adjust that profit target. As you can see here, it went up a little bit again, so I have to adjust it. There you go. Yeah, no problem. I'm here every day, usually London session though. Thanks for being here, Ovidio. And if you want, the template is available for free in my Telegram channel. Link is in the description of the video. You can download it there for free. There's no charge for the Telegram channel. No monthly fee, no one-time fee. This is all for free. I'm just willing to share it with you guys. This is more about, again, my channel is more about my journey as a trader, and I'm just sharing that with everybody in the hopes that it might help 1 or 2 other people as well. You know, I'm far from being a pro trader. Trust me, For God's sakes, I'm still using indicators, okay? That's how sad of a trader I am. But hey, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If it works, and I can make 3-4% a day with it, and being consistent with it, then, you know, it is what it is. I will use the indicator. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, all right. Well, then, you know, in the template and the indicators are in there, so you can grab them anytime if you're interested in. You don't have to, of course. It's up to you. Yeah, like I said, I'm journaling my journey. That's what that channel is about. And then also hoping to help maybe 1 or 2 other people to at least create a mind shift if there's something going wrong in their trading. That's all. That's what my channel is about. If I can help 1 or 2 people, great. You know, that's why I don't charge anything. That's why, especially, I don't have much to charge, because I'm not a pro trader. And I'm just getting to profitability. I thought I had it, then I didn't. Now I'm back at having it. So it's still a journey for me. I'm far from being a pro, so I wouldn't even dare to charge money for what I teach. I just have crazy ideas sometimes, and I put them all together. That's all I do. And this is my latest crazy idea, and I like it because I actually understand it, and it's fairly simple. At least for me, it's fairly simple. And again, this is a demo account. I got nothing to lose. We had 1 loss here. Great. So I adjusted the indicator. There's a lot of adjustments going to happen in the next few days as I see them in the live markets. And yeah, see how it goes. So yeah, unfortunately this indicator didn't catch up in time because we had a strong move up. So my entry would have been here. It would have caught up in time. The stop loss above the high. But you can see the fair value gap entry is actually a little better. So, but we didn't have this in time, so I allow myself to take a ICT entry, which I did. So if I don't get an entry with my system, I consider ICT entries, and in this case we had one, so I took that one. In this case we had one too, but I overlooked it, so that happens. Won't happen again, hopefully. Never say never, but hopefully not. And again, all I can say is, if you do follow along and you start trading my strategy, which you're welcome to, that's why I gave it out for free. All the indicators and template, you can download that for free. There's no money behind anything. Not my Telegram channel, not the template, not the indicators, nothing. I give them out for free. I hope I'm able to do that, because I don't know if they're all so legal, but at least I'm not charging anything for it, so hopefully I won't get in trouble. But my point is, there's no cost involved for you, and you're happy to trade along if you want to. You can just download everything in the Telegram channel. It's available there. I will repack the zip file after the session to update it, because the template in the zip file is outdated. I updated that yesterday. It's available a little bit below the original package if you download it now. But by this afternoon, you can just download the zip file. It will be updated then. So I'm just waiting for the trade to play out here now. We're not taking any more trades. It's after 11. We're out of Silver Bullet, and we're out of Kill Zone New York. So now ICT says there's also a New York PM session, which I would have to look it up, but I think it's 1:30 until 3, 4, something like that. I think it's 1:30 to 4. But I barely got any sleep because I was told late I have to babysit this morning, so I didn't get a lot of sleep, and hopefully Mimi will be here by then. So I'm actually going back to bed. Screw the afternoon session. So usually, again, I said it in the beginning, I'm going to say it again at the end or towards the end. I usually trade London session. Today was an exception because my schedule was thrown around by my landlord, which I happily helped them out. They help me all the time, so it's the least I can do for them. So I had to cancel my London session for tonight and instead go to sleep. So I'm awake in the morning to keep an eye on the little one, which I'm still doing. Still wondering where Mimi is. She was supposed to be at 8:30. It's 11 now. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just gonna wait for her to come home, and then I'm gonna pass out again. So there's no afternoon session for me. Besides, I haven't backtested the afternoon session yet, and even though this is a demo account and I'm testing anyway, I rather collect some data first before I trade a strategy, if that makes sense. And in this case, I did backtest it, so I'm confident to trade it, not on a live account yet, but at least on an account, trading it live on a demo account. I know, a lot of confidence needed. But anyway, if this works out, I give it, I would say, 1 to 2 weeks. Probably 2 weeks, maybe even 3 or 4 weeks, I don't know yet. Whenever I feel comfortable with this and I see results, then I will switch over to a live account. And I'm gonna make this a new series on my channel at the same time, because I'm gonna start with $100 on that live account, and then goal is to trade it up to 200, take 40 out, get the 5% of 5k challenge on the high stakes challenge, which is $39. Then it's paid for with profits, not my own money. Well, technically it is my money, but it's money that I'm not missing because it's profits from trading. And I leave $60 in the account basically, so after that I will have a $160 account. Once I double that, I see if I can get another challenge with the profits that I made. If not, I trade it as long until I have the profits that I need for the next challenge that I want to take that money out of the account, leave a little bit of profits in it, let's say another 40, so I'm up to 200 at that point, or 300, whatever it is at this point. So this is kind of like how I want to go forward. So make profits on the small account, double it, you know, which again should be able to be done in a month. If you make 3% a day, that's more than doubling an account safely with a strategy. And then use the profits to finance the challenges, build the challenges up, build funded accounts up. As I get funded accounts payouts, I will take 50% of the payout and put it into new challenges, and take the other 50% and put it in my $100 account, my small account, and build it up that way as well. And that's how I'm gonna do this going forward. Everyday trading, Sunday live session Q&A, questions and answers, plan changes, adjustment, whatever. We talk about that on Sunday. That's usually 1 p.m. EST. If you're interested, it's also free. I did 1 p.m. EST because it's not too early for US, because I like to sleep in a little bit on Sunday, and also not too late in the UK and Europe. So I think that's a good time for them as well, early evening. That's why I set it to that time, and we do that every Sunday from now on, 1 p.m. Unless I'm going away for the weekend or something comes up, but I will let you know in the Telegram channel if that happens. Unfortunately, you know, that can happen, but I will let you know if I'm in a trade. Oh hey, how are you? Good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah, it says that the markets are not closed in the US. It is a holiday, but I looked it up because someone else mentioned that earlier, and the market is open in the US, and I'm trading indices, so the stock market is open. So it's not a stock market holiday. I'm trading it. I'm in a trade right now on US 30. I almost hit TP1. Not yet though. But how are you? Man, it's been a while. It's good to see you. Always like to having you on. Always a pleasure to me. A pleasure for me. So it's really good to see you. Yeah, so anyway, finishing that up, like I said, the goal is to use the small account, make profits, use the profits to finance challenges, do the challenges, pass them, get funded accounts, get payouts, put half of the payouts back into challenges and the other half into the small account to build it up, and then build the small account basically up and build my funded portfolio up at the same time, and then just see how far I can take it from there. Nah, good for you. That's nice. I hope they're German beers. Just saying. I just come from Germany. I was there for 4 months almost. So it was nice. Seeing family, old friends. It was really nice. Don't get that opportunity too often. So anywho, looks like that came close to. So if we would have taken this trade, we would have been at 3 point. First half is already closed out at 1.3 risk reward. This could possibly have stopped us out right on the dot, because obviously I would put my stop loss before my entry with a minimum profit to cover the fees, and this might actually have stopped me out right there. So that would have been my half trade so far. However, if you do get a red arrow and a yellow arrow here, we can take another trade. No, we cannot. It's after 11. Never mind. We're out of kill zone. But you know, if we would be in kill zone, if you got a red arrow here, then we could take another entry with a stop loss above this and take it down. Just saying. I'm not going to do that now because again, we're out of kill zone, so I'm not taking trades. Just babysit the trade that I did take in the kill zone. Thank you. Yeah, it's I still use indicators, obviously. I probably will take that fair value gap indicator off because it's not very accurate. It doesn't show you all the fair value gaps, so I actually see them better with my eye than the indicator does. Actually, let me do this right now. I really don't need that indicator. I'm gonna take this off. We talked about this. Take it off here. Let me save that template. Yeah, just so you see, I have a lot of ideas. This is a lot of brain work here. It's not all mine. There are strategies that I downloaded, so I'm not saying all of this is mine. But I'm doing a lot of work with different strategies, and you know, see what I like, what I don't like, what I think it works, what I think won't work, and I mix them up, I put them together, and this is exactly what I did here. Like I said, I'm a firm believer in the TMA strategy. I think that TMA is a genius indicator because it shows you the range of where price might go. It's not very exact. It also repaints. I totally understand that, but I think it's still a genius indicator. And if you combine that with ICT's teaching, it becomes something very, very interesting and very profitable from backtesting. So yeah, I only have one bottom indicator now. I actually went down from 4 to 1 today. This is my first day trading the strategy, and I just started being back on YouTube. And this is just a demo account, so I want to point this out again. Since this is new to me as well, this is demo, okay? I'm not pretending I'm trading a $1 million account or anything. And even the demo is only $500. So don't expect like, oh, I made $10,000 today. It's not going to happen. You know, if I make 3% on the day, I'm happy. You don't need more than that. And this strategy gives you a lot more, a better outlook on way more percentage than just 3% on the day. In the example, like I said, I mentioned that earlier. In the example I went over yesterday, it was 17.5% on one pair in London and New York session. If you would have traded both sessions, you would have ended up with 17.5% on the day with 1% risk per trade. That's pretty amazing. And again, if you're interested in that, you can go back to videos on my channel from yesterday's live Q&A session, which we will do every Sunday from now on, 1 p.m. EST, unless something comes up. Then I will inform the Telegram channel. You're welcome to join the Telegram channel. That's for free. Doesn't cost anything. And this will be a regular thing. I'm back. I had my 4 months vacation. I'm good. And I'm going to attack YouTube again, and I'm going to stay consistent this time. At least I do my dearest to stay consistent this time. Exactly. I'm honestly, like I said, I'm mostly only trading in London session because that works the best for me, and my other work, I can build my schedule around that fairly easy. So my main session will be London session. Today I had to make an exception because I was awarded with babysitter duties, so I had to be up in the morning, meaning I couldn't trade London, so I trade New York instead. But yeah, 99% of the times you're definitely going to see a London session that I trade live every day. Unless there's red folder news, then I will inform you in the Telegram channel if there's too many news or CPI or NFP or whatever. On those days I won't trade, period. But if that happens, I will inform you in the Telegram channel, so you know ahead of time, so you don't have to wait and then find out that I'm not showing up for the session. So be sure that you're in the Telegram channel. Again, it's free, doesn't cost anything, I'm not charging anything, but you get the info there first, and then you know ahead of time if I'm not doing a session or if I have to cancel a session last minute like I had today. Didn't have a choice. So anywho, enough babbling, I think. Yeah, it's really good to see you, man. It's been really a long time. How are you doing in your trading? You still doing good? You still have all the funded accounts and whatnot? With your crazy small stop losses on a 1 hour chart? In case you guys didn't know, she, which I found out, is a very excellent trader. Or was it a he turned she? I can't remember. I'm sorry, it's been a while. I know there was something. I just can't remember exactly what it was, but I hope you're not mad at me. But I'm really genuinely happy to see you here on the channel, because it was always nice to have you on there. Yeah, if you're still here, let me know how your trading goes. Hope everything goes well. Unfortunately, I lost my funded accounts right before I left to Germany, because I was using an EA, and for a few brokers now. Nice. That's awesome. Okay, so that sounds like you're doing well. Very nice. Yeah, I lost my last funded account right before I left to Germany. I was running an EA that I actually, I didn't put it together, but I had the idea for the EA and somebody else helped me put it together, and it was working well, but then it just, all the pairs that I traded all of a sudden went into long trends without pause, and I went to too much drawdown, lost the last account. And the previous accounts, several accounts that I had, was because I put my EA on hold because we did an update. So I was like, you know what, before I don't make anything, let me put another EA on there and on minimum size, so I make at least a little bit and have active trading days until we have the update ready, which I did, and it worked. And then those accounts were banned because I was copying trades. That was the reason for banning my accounts. Because apparently there was someone using the exact same EA on the same prop firm. So it flagged his and my account as copying trades. And I'm assuming we both lost our accounts. I don't know about the other person, but they canceled my accounts. I was mad as hell. And that's, again, that's the reason why, and it's gonna come, I know exactly, one of you guys or several of you guys are gonna ask me for that new EA that is in update 3.0 right now, and hopefully done soon, within the next few days. This EA will not be given out by me, not even sold. It's my EA, period. Only person that trades it is gonna be me, for that very same reason, because I don't want anyone to be out there with this EA trading prop firm accounts, because if we're trading on the same prop firm, we're both going to lose the account, and all that work was for nothing. So this EA stays internal in my pocket and no one else, and that's it. So you can ask all you want, I will not give that out. I will not even sell it for $100,000, period. Because that's going to be my ticket for managing funded accounts without having to trade. And it works really well with the new update, hopefully. That was actually the time my time in Germany, I used that for thinking about ways to improve it. And I came back with a bunch of ideas and got to work and picked the best ones, and now we're working on an update. Because I'm not a programmer, so I have a friend helping me. I have the ideas, he has the programming knowledge, and that's a dual project. So, and I think he's in the last quarter to finish it, basically. So all the logic is already done. We went over that. It's just a matter of including the money management now, because there are some changes, and I think a couple of indicators that I added to it. So yeah, it's almost done, and that should be hopefully at least twice as profitable as the EA that we had before, and even that EA are past prop firm challenges. So if I get twice the profitability out of it, even better. But yeah, don't ask me to get it, because I'm not giving it out, period. You can offer me any amount, I will not give it out, for that one and only reason that I would get flagged again and lose the accounts again. Alright, good luck with the poker games, and again, good seeing you, bro. Take care. I'll be here every night now, London session, if you want to stop by. Look at this, comes almost all the way back. Did we hit an order block here? This, well, I'm gonna stick with my strategy. So we did not hit 1, 2, 3 yet, so no break even here.
The white TV is got movies and the white and is the movies in there, and is already movies in that door.
Yeah, but I don't know how to turn it on. I never used it. If you know how to do it, you can do it. Be my guest. I never used that TV. I don't know if you heard it, but little one was here complaining that the TV doesn't play movies. And this is like one of those old TV video cassette combos, yada yada, that I have never used, so I have no idea. I probably can figure it out, but
We have these movies. How to turn this on.
you know how to turn this on?
This movie.
Okay, go ahead.
And it's down, and we just put it on.
If you know how to do it, you're welcome to do it.
But I'm gonna break the movie.
Well, I don't know how to do it, Everly. You gotta wait for Mimi, I told you. I don't want to break anything either. Give me a minute and I'll check it out, okay? Can't be that hard. So yeah, we're out of trading time. So we're out of New York AM kill zone. Like I said, there's a PM kill zone as well, but I'm not going to trade that today. I'm going to need some sleep after this. So now it's just babysitting this trade here that I did take within the kill zone. I can actually minimize this now and make this bigger so you guys can see it better. So we took that fair value gap that was displacement, breaking structure, or market shift, whatever you want to call it. We had an extreme fair value gap here. I placed my order here. We got tagged in. And now we're waiting for it to hit take profit, which is 1, 2, 3. That's what I'm looking for first. And as soon as it does hit 1, 2, 3, my stop loss goes to break even. And then TP2 is basically the TMA band. This is where I constantly adjust TP2. We took 2 positions here, so yeah, that's what it is. Just babysitting that last trade. We might hit stop loss, I don't know. We're not out of risk-free yet, even though we came fairly close to the first TP, which actually coincides with all those lows here. And we do have a fair value gap untouched right underneath here. So I still believe it's going to hit take profit, especially if you see how energetic it came down and how slowly it goes up there now. That is, according to ICT, also an indication of where the market really wants to go. You just follow the strong candles, and the strong candles in this case currently are going down. Hello. Yeah, because the tablet is not working and I didn't know how to turn the TV on. I didn't know how to turn the TV on, how to work this thing. And the tablet is apparently empty. So Mimi is home. That actually means I can close my door now. Huh? For what? Don't worry about it. I got a fair notice, so that's fine. That's fine. Excuse me, guys, for a second, so I can say hi. I'll be back in a few minutes. This trade is not doing anything right now anyway, and profit targets are set. We are not at break even yet, so I'll be right back. Give me a few minutes. Alright, I'm back. My door is closed now. Grandma's home and my babysitter duties are done. So let's see what that trade here does. That would be a shame if it hit stop loss now. But that's the strategy. I'm going to follow it to a T. Like I said, I've been back testing it, and from my back test, it hit 1 to 3 a lot. That's why I made it my profit target 1. So again, no strategy is 100% safe, so you will have stop losses, especially since this is my first time trading it. I already made a mistake on Euro USD, which cost me a trade, or at least a 1 to 3 so far on half of the trade. And you know, it is what it is. I'm learning as I go. I don't know what it's trying to do here now, if it's trying to take highs out again. But I mean, we did that 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5 sweeps to the high, so it should not sweep again. I mean, that would be ridiculous at this point. So I still believe in it going down and hitting the team A band on the other side. And if it does hit stop loss, you know what, that's it. At least I'm done for the day at this point, because we're out of the kill zone. So we're not taking any more trades. At least I'm not today. I will be back for a London session tomorrow. Wait, today's Monday, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do London session tomorrow. I'm working tomorrow night, so I'll just make it home in time for London session. But that's gonna be my only session tomorrow, because I'm working right before London session for 5 hours. So I probably won't have the energy to stay awake for the London session, for the New York session as well. So tomorrow is going to be London session only. That's it. Unless something changes, then I will put it in the Telegram channel. But I doubt there's going to be any changes to it. Even though the babysitter is still sick, so I don't know. But I already told my landlords that tomorrow I won't be able to do anything because I'm working at night, and the day after I won't be able to do anything either, because again I'm working on Tuesday night and I need my sleep before work. Today was not a big deal, but tomorrow and Wednesday I can't. So a London session should be okay. I actually, today is Monday, right? Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I can do London and New York tonight or tomorrow morning. Better, because I work at night, so that would still give me enough opportunity to sleep before work. Not sure. London session for sure, but I can't guarantee about New York. A few things on there I don't like. Just go over that real quick. Okay, close. Template, save. Do I have any viewers left here? Probably not. I do. Hello? Or is that me? That could be too. Anyway, let's see what happens here. Yeah, it looks like it wants to take the highs again and stop us out. So this already invalidated my trade actually. But I'm gonna keep the stop loss there and see what it does. But yeah, just the fact that it went above this candle here invalidates my trade. However, it did not take my stop loss. So, and this is a pretty hard rejection here. And we had a very slow build up going up. So momentum is definitely to the downside at this moment, at this time. I don't know, I'm just gonna let it run. It's like, again, this is the strategy. I set my trade, and this is more or less a set and forget until we hit 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna let it play out. Win or loss doesn't matter. Following the process. So I've seen it in my back test that it has a big edge, very decent edge actually, where you can get a 1 to 5 on average, I would say, if you put them combined together. I saw trades as high as 1 to 20. So it definitely has an edge, and I back tested it, I validated it, I believe in it, and I'm just gonna let it play out. Even if I do hit a stop loss, that's fine. Overall, I have way more profit on a winning trade than I have a loss on a losing trade. So that alone sets me up for profitability in the long run. And I would say this strategy has a win rate of, I would say, somewhere between 70 to 80%. And if you have an average risk reward, I want to say 1 to 5. If you combine it, and you have a 70% win rate, that's very profitable. So I'm just going to let it play out, knowing what I saw in the back test, and believing in that data. And if I lose, I'm not going to cry over it. I'm just going to try again tomorrow. Like I said, I missed that Euro USD trade, unfortunately. I did take this trade properly, and it did go to 1 to 2. But again, from my back testing, I saw that I hit 1 to 3 a lot of times with this strategy. So maybe if, I don't know, I have to think about it. Maybe something like, if I have my entry model, which usually gives me a better entry, I use 1 to 3, but if I take an FEG, I go to 1 to 2, something like that. Maybe I do that. Again, I'm still adjusting as I'm learning and trading it. I'm gonna do some back testing on it later today. I'm gonna wake up again. But like I said, I already did that, and from my back testing, 1 to 3 is the most profitable outcome with the strategy. So that's what I intend to use. Yeah, but that was really close to my stop loss. Good thing I put some buffer in there for the spread. Otherwise it would have taken me out. For sure. Let's hope that was it. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna call it a day at this point because I'm getting tired. I'm just gonna set my second TP to, let's say here, just right in between TP1 and TP2, because this band is probably still gonna shift. I don't know how long it's gonna take to come down. If it comes down, might even hit my stop loss, I don't know, but I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then come back to the charts later and see where I'm at, if it actually worked out or not, and I will update you guys tonight in London session. Thanks for being here. Thanks for trading with me if you did. Thanks for listening to my rants. And again, do me a favor, subscribe, like the video. I really would appreciate that. It supports us, supports the channel. And also feel free to sign up for the Telegram channel, or join the Telegram channel better. Link is in the description. It's completely free, no cost. You can download the template that I'm using there. I will update that tonight and upload the updated zip package with the adjusted template and indicators and whatnot. So if you want to wait for that, probably would be wise, because the template that is in there is not the up-to-date template. Even the one that I uploaded later on is not up to date anymore. And I will repackage everything later this evening and upload it again and delete the old one, and then if you come back tonight for the London session, you can download the updated version. And if you have questions, leave them in the Telegram channel or in the comments here. Either one is fine with me, doesn't matter. And again, please subscribe, like this stream or this video, and yeah, thanks for being here. You guys have a great day. Bye.